Hi guys, it's Colton Lindsay here. I appreciate you here for a Financial Freedom Friday type video, and just a little bit of background why I do these videos is because once I became financially free, I wanted to be able to share with other people how they can have more financial peace, financial freedom in their life, just as my simple gift to give back the gifts that I've been given. And so I wanted to talk about four very important points that is very well illustrated in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that's really how the cash flow quadrant works and how money flows through the economy. And this is really important for you if you might be struggling to say, hey, well, this doesn't matter to me. It really does, because this is what keeps people down and struggling financially, because the way our economic system is set up. And it's not the government's fault, it's not capitalist's fault, it's just the way the system is. And really, you can't change this whole freaking system overnight. You can just implement what is going on and best protect you and your family and really your health and your mental strength and to be more happier with your life. More happier doesn't even make sense, but to be happier with your life. And so number one is understand what working income is. That's when you go to work, you put in hours, and you get paid for it. The number one level is what's really called a W-2 employee. That's where you work for another company, and through that you're paid based on your hourly wage and with benefits. That section actually is going to pay the highest amount of taxes percentage-wise to the government. Okay. Section 2 is, which that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it will take part of your income and do that. So the second part is what's called self-employed. That's where you work for yourself, basically, and you're a one-man guy, or maybe a small you and an assistant or something like that. And that's the second level of highest tax bracket. I'm not saying tax bracket, but tax percentage. You have fewer incentives in that range, and that's where you're doing all the work yourself for yourself, but you're still having to work. But it is much better financially for the compared to the first quadrant, which is the W-2 type tax category. And just so you guys know, I am not giving tax advice at all. I want to make that very freaking clear. I'm not a tax consultant. I'm just sharing from my experience what I've learned. Okay. The third category which is the business section. What's cool about this section is this is where you get to use a lot more tax incentives, because you can use it towards growing the business. And you know, if for the first time you think, well, why don't I have to pay tax on that? Really good reason is because they can take that money, reinvest it by hiring more people, creating more jobs for the economy based on values to grow on how that person runs their core values of their company. And which is a really cool thing, because it's giving back on a major scale to our economy and to society. So it's really awesome. Part of that, though, that person can say, hey, they are doing it, or we're doing it, right, as a group sort of thing, and not just have to rely on their self. There's so many other talented individuals they're in business with. It's a group effort. And then the last quadrant, which is where you can actually build wealth and financial freedom, is through the investor quadrant. That's where your money works for you. And what's cool is you don't have to be honestly, everyone starts in the one section of W-2, and they can work to become into the investor mentality where your money works for you. And there's one major thing to make that happen, and that is have a money management system. Know where every dollar is spent and where it's going to be allocated before you receive it. And when you do that, you can plan out clearly and set your money aside so that your money will start working for you. And with the more you do it and the habit you build, you'll build more and more wealth. It just will naturally happen. And that's what I've learned in my life. I hope this creates value for you. If you really had any questions, I can create value for you. For those of you who don't know, my major business is real estate sales team. I here in Ogden, Utah, and expanding throughout Utah. Also, the other is, I work a lot with real estate sales coaching and training and referring people to fearlessagent.com. If you have questions about that, please let me know. Appreciate you guys. We'll see. Your success defined, right? And remember, the number one problem why most agents fail and most people fail is because they don't define what success looks like for them. The cool part for you is you get to define your success. You get to actually write the definition for success. So once you've created that definition of success, the idea is to be persistent, to never quit, to never give up. And the only way you can ever fail is by quitting. And along the way, you're going to face a lot of temporary defeats.